So, what's so important about this necklace you want back anyway? I asked Amanda. Family heirloom or something? Must be pretty dang important if it's made you desperate enough to beg for my help. I did not beg for your assistance, Fortnite, Amanda said crossly. I am offering you an opportunity to contribute to a greater good, which your order has always claimed to be proponents of. Assisting me in this endeavour will save many lives, many of which will be human. With that being the case, do you have the right to refuse me? Mandy, I can refuse any damn thing I want, I said gruffly. I was annoyed by how she always seemed to be talking down to me. Damn dragon lady acted like she'd graduated from an Ivy League school. She was so snooty. That's certainly your right, but you'd be a fool to indulge in such pettiness, she said, after staring quietly at me for a long moment. The necklace that Vexevius withholds from me is indeed an heirloom, a gift to me from my Lord Grandfather before he fell into the sleep of ages. It contains the very essence of his magic that only I may command. If that's the case, then why is this Vexevius idiot keeping it from you? I asked her. Because he's insane. He seriously believes that he possesses draconic ancestry. I take it he doesn't. That is correct. He's a deluded sorcerer who believes himself greater than he is. Unfortunately, in his obsession to prove his superiority, he has taken to raiding human settlements, not only for slave labour for his compound, but also as sacrifices for profane rituals intended to empower himself. Excuse me? I said sharply. Amanda, you could have led with that. Are you really telling me this crazy bastard is sacrificing human lives for his Dungeons and Dragons act? I am not certain what your terminology is specifically referencing, but yes, he is sacrificing humans for draconic power, and he is keeping many of them helpless within his dungeons. He has made contact with dark powers, unclean things that feed his fantasies and fuel his debased delusions. By making ritual sacrifices to these creatures, he increases his own personal power. Should he augment himself enough, he may very well become able to use the magic contained within my necklace. Which would be bad? I asked her. Which would be terrifying. For if such a foul being as Vexevius were to make contact with my grandfather's magic, it would surely rouse the old worm from his slumber and ignite his tremendous and unrelenting wrath. First he would punish the sorcerer for his arrogance, then he would punish me for not showing proper care for the gift which he bestowed upon me. Oh, poor you, I said with a smirk. I would deserve his anger and would not turn away from it, Amanda said coldly. Sadly, it would not end there. Dragons do not stop growing, Fortnite. My grandfather is the third oldest being that exists on this planet. The time will eventually come when this world will become too small to contain his mighty frame. When that happens, he will join his siblings in the void beyond, shining eternally upon this world as a star. What? That's not where stars come from, I started to say, before Pete interrupted me. Magic, Sir Matthew. Magic. Don't overthink it, he said. Magic is dumb, I muttered under my breath. Believe whatever you wish, Amanda said with a snarl. I only mentioned his size to illustrate for your feeble imagination how easy it will be for my grandfather to transform this entire continent into superheated glass with one application of his blazing fire. Should he wish, he could wipe out all life on this planet with a half dozen such breaths. Like I'd let that happen, I barked. Let? Did you say let? What clever invention could your ring possibly craft that would prevent the destruction of everything around you, you fool? I've only seen my grandfather's draconic form once, and even I was nearly driven to madness by the mere sight of his glory. I wonder what it would do to the mind of a mere knight in sceptre such as you. Given your obnoxious disposition, it would almost be worth dying just to see the terror on your stupid face. I couldn't stand this woman. I just couldn't stand her. I took 3 big steps towards her, put my face right next to hers, and said, Has anyone ever told you you've got a real nasty attitude, Amy? No one living, she replied, and no one who wanted to remain living. I know exactly what your problem is, I told her. I ain't afraid of you. Creatures like you can smell genuine terror from 100 miles away, so it must drive you nuts that you don't put a drop of it in me. You hate that a big apex predator like you can't get so much as a shiver from this mere mortal. I bet you're just dying to put me in my place. I wouldn't be the one dying, ape, Amanda said in a grim whisper, as her hands unfurled at her sides, revealing deadly-looking talons at the tips of her fingers. Which was the exact moment I stuck my pistol under her chin. Come again? I asked her, as I caught the trigger. Sir Matthew, I insist you stop this behaviour at once, P said angrily. She started it, I shouted back. Not important. Amanda is just as human as she is draconic, and is thus completely within her right to petition us for aid. Your deliberate misbehaviour towards her speaks poorly of your character. I know you to be a person of integrity and honour, so I beseech you to remember your oaths and abstain from this petulant pettiness." "Thank you, Construct," Amanda said smugly. This mortal was beginning to— "Spare me, Lady Amendelez," Pete cut in. "I am not as stunted in my senses as an organic being, and I know very well that you have been subtly directing killing intent towards my partner for the better part of this evening, hoping to provoke a violent reaction to justify an act of self-defense. I didn't know such thing," Amanda said, startled. "My lady, please. Despite your comparatively great age compared to Sir Matthew, I am much older than you and very experienced in dealing with your kind. If you were a full-blooded dragon, and a recognisably mature one at that, I would have let my partner squeeze the trigger. But the murder of a misbehaving child would be an indelible blot on our honour. So I am forced to intercede on his behalf. With that being said, do not attempt to play me." I'm not going to lie. Seeing Pete drop the verbal hammer like that on Queen Mandy halfway made me want to click my heels and whoop at the hilarity of it all. I didn't know the little fella had it in him to show such sand. It just went to show that still waters truly ran deep. Amanda sure didn't like it, though. "How dare you speak to me like that?" "Your mate picked a fight and lost. Get over it. Do it soon," Pete told her firmly. "You had better deliver on your promises, Construct," Amanda sputtered, before storming off into the darkening woods. "You had just better." "Leave her be," Pete said, before I could take a single step. "Our drones are in the air surveilling the area. I have an eye on her right now. She'll be fine. Besides, you two need some distance." "She was still mad about me beating up on her man, huh?" I said with a whistle. "Can't say I enjoy having that anger directed at me, but I'm not unappreciative of a loyal woman." "Pfft. Huh? What's got you spitting raspberries, Bard?" "She wasn't offended by your behaviour, Sir Matthew. She was attracted to it. Please read the material that's assigned to you next time." "What are you going on about?" I asked him, annoyed at his smug tone of voice. "Individuals may vary depending on their personalities, but in general, dragons live by a might makes right philosophy that extends towards their breeding partners as well. As a human, Lady Amanda surely despises you for the thrashing you gave Borman, but as a dragon—" "She wants to screw my brains out," I said, with a slowly dawning grin. "Gross, yes," Pete replied. "Now, how can that be so? You said yourself that she wanted to kill me." "She does, mostly. Sex and violence can be deeply intertwined in the mating rituals of some dragons. Her mortal grandmother was undoubtedly an accomplished warrior of some kind, or perhaps a powerful sorceress. Either of those two would be enough to capture her grandfather's attention. Dragons are deeply attracted to people with great personal strength. You undoubtedly caught her attention when you defeated Borman without relying on your ring." "So, she's into me, huh? And all that sass and the low-key death threats were basically her tugging on my braids?" "Unfortunately, yes." "Where in the woods did you say she went?" I asked him. "Sir Matthew, no, absolutely not," Pete said with a groan. "I was just joking. Would you mind telling me why not? Just so as I know." "Not at all. One is against procedures. Lady Amanda has requested our assistance, and it would be unethical to be involved with her beyond a professional relationship." "No having fun on the clock, huh?" "Depends on your definition of fun. 2. There currently exists a distinctly imbalanced power dynamic at play here. Without her necklace, Lady Amanda has no access to the lion's share of her draconic abilities. She can't even completely transform. Her feelings of helplessness might drive her to make a rash decision that could cause her to be taken advantage of. As sworn knights, we are obligated not to prey on those in need of our protection." "Damn," I said, after thinking over his words for a bit. "Thank you, Pete. I hadn't even thought of it like that. You're right. It would be taking advantage of a woman in distress, even if I don't understand all the particulars involved. A man needs to be better than his urges. I feel like a real shitheel right now for even feeling remotely tempted." "Think nothing of it, Sir Matthew. For what it's worth, I sincerely believe that you're too honourable to behave in such a predacious manner, despite your occasional crudity. As you termed it, I believe your mama raised you right. Also, my unofficial third reason for avoiding a relationship with Lady Amanda is that dragons are horrible people. She really would make you miserable. Male or female, dragons are impossible to please." "No falling?" "None at all. Think of the snobbiest, most upper-crust vapid twitch you could possibly imagine. Multiply their awfulness by a factor of 10,000, and then give them the ability to breathe fire. Welcome to hell. Here's your date. You're footing the bill, by the way." "Dang, they're that bad?" I asked him with widening eyes. "They sleep on house-sized piles of gold, Sir Matthew." "Shoot, they sure do," I said with a nod. Pete was a good friend. 2 hours later, we were ready to roll. Pete, I'm not going to lie, man. I think this is the best idea we've ever had, I said gleefully, as my eyes partook of the glorious machine we had assembled. The design is lovely, Pete replied. It's too large and slow for proper aerial combat, but as an air-to-surface anti-personnel weapons delivery system, this augmented helicopter will more than suffice for the attack we have selected it for. With this mighty sword, we shall rain fire and doom upon the enemies of liberty and peace. I want to call it Airwolf, I said eagerly, barely managing to resist greedily rubbing my palms together. I cannot allow that, Sir Matthew, Pete said. What? Why not? I asked indignantly. Airwolf is an official trademark of Universal Studios. As a Forge Knight, you are expected to respect intellectual property rights. Well, damn. Can I call it Skywolf? Skywolf would be acceptable. Oh, hell yes. Alright, get Skywolf prepped, Pete. We're taking off in 10 minutes. We're gonna shut that Vexevious punk's little slave-trading / human-sacrificing bullshit or whatever operation down. Oh, we're gonna slap it down hard. As you say, Sir Matthew, Pete said excitedly. We're coming with you, a voice said from behind me. Borman, Amanda, and the kid all stood there. The adults looked determined and ready for a war. The kid just kind of looked confused and a little sleepy. No, you're not, I told them. We've added armaments to the drones patrolling this area. Stay here and you'll be protected. What Pete and I are about to do is dangerous, and there's a good chance you'll be killed if you join us. And were you to die, Forge Knight, interjected Amanda, then how long would your flying toys remain functional? How protected would we be then? It would be better to fight alongside you and perish in battle, than to wait behind and slowly be picked off. My lady speaks the truth, Borman said. Besides, I may not look it in these rags, but I am a knight. I learned to crush the skulls of those vile, dark elven bastards who dared to steal my armor and humiliate me before the one I love. It was to spare my pitiful life that Amanda forsook her precious necklace to that disgusting Vexavicious. I need to redeem myself in battle. I will accompany you, Forge Knight, whether you will have me or not. Seriously? I said, annoyed. What about you, little girl? I asked the kid. You got any bruised honor or something? Some ancestral Viking grudge urging you to collect some elf ears or whatever? Why do you need to come with me? I don't want to be alone, she said sadly. Well, shit. What was I supposed to say to that? Kids don't play fair. Pete? I said begrudgingly. Yes, Sir Matthew, he replied. Add a child seat to Skywolf. And I don't know, set up a monitor and fill it with cartoons. At once, sir. Make sure they're G-rated. As you like. I hated this damn planet.